Here is the result of our smoked turkey. Now, we ate probably half of it last night with some friends, but it turned out amazing. I wish you could smell it in this video, but you can't, of course. This turned out really good. The brine is what makes it. The brine and the smoke combination makes it so, so good. There we have our white meat on top, dark meat on bottom. These are all chunked up. These are going in the canner. We're gonna put them in canning jars and can this. And like I mentioned earlier, we ate half of this turkey last night. So, or actually the other breast. So look at the size of the breasts on these things. That's the cool thing about wild turkeys. They are pretty big animals and you get a lot of meat off them. I mean, at least for a turkey, right? So this one we're gonna slice up for sandwiches and just eating throughout the week. All this is going into the canner and we'll show you that too. Now when you do this, you want to fill it up almost to the top right here. Then we'll put some water in it, so a little bit more. All right, here's our pressure canner. It's a big monster one. Here's the lid. I just put a new gauge on it and a new seal. Now we're gonna fill this with 7 quart jars, so you don't need much water. I'll probably put a little more than this, but that's all you need for pressure canning. Our canner holds 7 quart jars, and we only have 2 of the turkey we got, so Joni prepared the beans. It's pretty easy to make canned beans, guys. You just get dried beans in a bag, and I think she puts 1 cup in each one of these and some salt, and then we can it for 90 minutes on 10 pounds of pressure. Here is our beautiful display about to go in the canner. So 2 smoked turkeys, 2 smoked wild turkeys. What do we have? 4 cans of black beans and 1 can of some kind of white bean. They each have an inch of head space. That's what's recommended by all the canning companies. Around an inch of head space for the correct amount of air space between the seal and the water or what have you. So anyway, let's get these things in the canner. I do like to push the outer ones to the edge. I try not to let the glass touch. There's not a lot of room in between each jar, but if you can have the glass not touch, that's better. Occasionally you have a jar that will break and then you got, you know, beans or whatever all over the place. But if you can mitigate that a little bit by having the jars not touch. So when they're boiling, they're not like jingling against one another. We are canning outside today. We got the Camp Chef propane. Let's light this thing up. Woo! We got fire. Okay, so we have it on high. Let's dial this down just a little bit. Something like medium. We'll slowly bring this up, because when you go too fast, you can get a broken jar. So here's the scoop, guys. This gauge, it's brand new, and I don't know why it's on like 2 already. Maybe it's a bad gauge. So anyway, we're gonna have to have our gauge go up to 12. We need to be at 10 pounds of pressure, at least between 10 and 15, I would say, for 90 minutes. So you can't even start counting the time until this gauge is at the 12. That would mean it's 10 pounds of pressure. So it depends on elevation. Check your canning guidebook, you know, for elevation and how much you need to do. So that's what we're gonna do. Now it's a waiting game. The nice thing about canning outside is the heat is all outside, the mess is all outside, and you have lots of room to work. We have this table set up, so it's just really convenient when you can do it outside. It's spring right now, so it's a great time of the year to do it. So our turkey carcass, here's half of it. We're gonna put it in our Instant Pot. We're gonna make some broth. So we'll put in some of the, you'll see the legs, there's still meat on them, and the wings, because it's extremely hard to get it off, and it's really only good for stew meat on these birds. We're utilizing the skin. So we put the skin in here. And it got a little dark in the smoking process, but it'll make wonderful broth. Joni, in her wisdom, has been saving these onion pieces and other random cut-offs from vegetables to make vegetable stock. But we decided, or she decided, and I agree 100%, we're gonna put half of this bag in with this and half of the bag in with this. So then we have smoked turkey vegetable broth, and we can use it for soups and stews and pastas and what have you. There's with all our veggies in there and the smoked turkey. Okay, we lock that in place. Turn this on. We're gonna pressure. So let's go. Pressure. No, this isn't the cleanest thing you've ever seen, but who cares, guys? Let's see. Temp, high on 10. We wanna go time. And we want to go at least an hour of pressure on this thing. We're not canning this, but we're just simply cooking it. Yeah, let's just go 105. There's really no rhyme or reason to that. At least an hour is what I've been told and what I've done in the past, and it works out great. Make sure our thing is on seal and not vent. And then we just wait. We let this pressure cooker do its thing, and then we'll put the other one in the outside burner. It's been about 30 minutes and we are up to temp. So it is at 15. We were only needing to be at 12. We got to hold it here. We're at about 12 for 90 minutes now. So I'm going to adjust the heat on here. We'll turn this down. It's a little bit harder and trickier on this camp chef because it's not super finite with the dial, but we just have to keep playing with it and try to keep it at, you know, at 12 or just above. This is our secondary stock pot on the outdoor burner. We're doing this one outside because we don't have room inside, and we thought, why not do it outside since it's a nice day. So we're just having this on low heat. We're gonna simmer this thing for a few hours until we get our broth. The tough part about using this is we're over temp right now. We're at like 14 because it's started at 2. So we're 45 minutes in and I keep having to adjust this thing. It's actually all the way down on the dial. I can't go any lower. So I'm gonna have to slide this canner a little bit off to get the temp to come down slightly, or the pressure, I mean. Our broth or stock, whatever you wanna call it, is on a low simmer. That's the kind of flame we have going. It's just above, it's like 3/8 or a quarter of the way up. And it's looking good. It's gonna have to go for a few hours though. The canner's done, the pressure released. Now we're taking them out. Look at how pretty these are. And look at this quilt our daughter Eden. Notice this. Joni's laughing at me because I sound like a 2-year-old on these videos.
No. He's like, look at this and look at that.
Look at this amazing quilt my daughter made. Observe it and recognize the talent. Seriously, look at this canning quilt. There it is. And there, okay, so there's our turkey, 2 beans.
Jars on it.
We will. Right after I pull this out, you're gonna see that these are jars. Okay. Notice that notice the red canned beans, actually black beans,
the jars
whatever
on the
they.
quilt.
But look at the jars in the quilt.
These are jars. These are jars, and I did it all myself.
Eden did this all herself. These are canning jars, and it's a beautiful quilt. And we are so thankful because it's made specifically to put your canning jars on.
You're gonna get no views.
If you want one, comment, I want a canning quilt, and she'll make you one.
Also, this canning jar quilt has thin slate on the inside. It's like what they use in oven mitts, so it won't burn this table underneath it. That's why this is a canning jar quilt.
Joni said she wanted a rustic mug of turkey broth. So this is what she calls rustic because we're making it outside. And here's her rustic mug that we're going to put some broth in for her. Finally pulled these out of the canner. We have 7 quarts of smoked turkey broth, along with, there was also some veggies Joni had set aside and we put in there. On my daughter's beautiful canning quilt, this has Thinsulate on the inside, so you can set your hot canning jars out of the canner onto here and it won't burn your table. If you want one of those, hit me up. I'll see if she can make more. But they're awesome. This is the first time we've used it. And we used it twice today, and I'm just like, man, this thing is incredible. So she's a great quilter. She's 15, and yeah, anyway, really cool quilt. But there we go. We have our broth all canned up. So that broth was from one turkey, one smoked wild turkey that we harvested. And there was more, but actually we used some of it for a dinner tonight, and I would think you could make a lot more. It's pretty concentrate. We did 2 batches on the stove. One in the Instant Pot, one on the stove out here, and boiled it. And I think we could have done it twice. I mean, I think out of one gobbler, you know, a male turkey, you could probably get, what, that's 7 quarts? You could probably get 14 or more quarts, I'm guessing. Maybe even 18 to 20 out of a turkey if you boiled it twice anyway. Because this stuff is really, I mean, look at, I'll show you. If you look at the color, it's really dark. I mean, there's just gelatin and stuff is already rising to the surface on these. So it's pretty heavy duty stuff. I think you could definitely make more than we made out of this. Thanks for watching our video on smoking a turkey. Thank you for watching our video on canning a turkey and canning the broth. It's all, we love that kind of lifestyle. You know, this is homesteading. This is not our homestead. We don't own it, but we get to live here. We get to rent here. So this is a blessing. And we're able to harvest wild game and can it. And we prefer wild game over anything you raise on a farm or buy at a store, for sure. Wild game is our favorite thing to eat.